Hi, this is Amy at North 40 Outfitters, and today we're going to talk about a few ways to plant potatoes. Potatoes are a favorite crop of just about everybody because they're so easy to grow, but one of the things that you need to know is when to put them in the ground. Now, a lot of the old sayings is to put them in at St. Patrick's Day or even Good Friday. But that could be too cold in a lot of areas of the country or in different years. So a good rule of thumb as to when to plant your potatoes is to wait until the dandelions are blooming out in the yard. So not when you see the first one right by your house, but when there's quite a few out in the open, then you know the soil is warm enough to put your potatoes in the ground. Now when you're buying potatoes, it's really important to find good local varieties. A lot of times in many states they need to be certified seed, which helps protect us all from the blight that can wipe out anything in this crop. And when you do, look for your favorite varieties. Look, Yukon Gold is a popular one, and today I picked up some Huckleberry Gold because being in Montana, we love all things huckleberry, and this is a great variety for here in Montana. So when you're planting potatoes, the nice thing is you get a lot of bang for your buck. One potato like this, you can cut into at least 3 different sections, making sure each section has one of these nice little eyes on it that will grow into a very nice, healthy plant. If you have the time, go ahead the night before, cut them into the sections, so it gives a chance of these wounds to heal. When you allow the wounds to heal, this makes sure you have less chance of disease, although I have to say it's not absolutely critical. But another good way to go is to look for smaller potatoes that you could just put the entire potato in the ground and not have to worry about cutting them. So there are several different ways to plant potatoes. Now my family has a long history with growing potatoes, and of course the traditional way to do it is to dig a trench that is 6 to 8 inches deep and then plant your potatoes with the eye up, because you want the plant, you don't want it to have to struggle to grow up. You want it to just grow up through the soil with the eye up, roughly 12 to even 18 inches apart. And then you are going to fill that in. And then as they grow, you will just use the soil from along and start hilling. So as they grow up, as the plant comes up, take more soil and put it against it. And then as the plant continues to grow, keep going until a lot of times you'll have a hill that's a nice 8-10 inches high. And underneath that is your wonderful potatoes waiting for you to go dig them up in the fall. Now the second way to do it that I've used quite a bit is to dig a shallower trench. Only go maybe 4 inches deep, so you're not going nearly as far down. And then same thing, take your seed potatoes, put them with the eye up, even the whole ones, same width or same amount apart, and then cover them. But this time you're only with 3 or 4 inches of soil. And so when it comes to the fall, you're not going to have so much to dig, because instead of hilling them with soil, we're going to use straw. So as the potatoes grow, you just take straw and you just put it around the plant. And as it keeps growing, just keep adding more straw. And the nice thing is in the fall, after the potato plants die back completely, you just take your pitchfork and just gently scrape away the straw, and then a lot of times you can reach down with your hands within those few inches of soil and pull the potatoes up. So it's not the heavy digging of the traditional means, but it still works really, really well, and you really grow a lot of potatoes this way. Now, a third way to plant potatoes, especially if you don't have a garden space to put them in, is to use a container. The great thing about using a container is you can keep them right there on the patio. Really, potato foliage is very, very beautiful, and they're easy to harvest. So the way you plant them in a container, find something nice and big. A 5-gallon bucket does fine, with as long as you have holes drilled in the bottom, but one of these containers is equally as beautiful and functional. When you start, add a few inches, 2 to 3 inches of potting soil on the bottom, Spread that out, and then for a container this big, we're probably only going to put in 2 potatoes. But the cool thing is even planting just 2 potatoes in this container, you'll probably get 5 to 10 and maybe even 12 pounds of potatoes at the end of the season. So it's a lot of bang for your buck. So just take your potatoes just like you would in the garden and have them with their eyes pointing upwards and place them in the bucket, and then cover once again with a couple more inches of soil. Now as these grow, just like the potatoes in the garden, you're going to need to keep hilling them. So when those plants are a couple inches tall, add some more potting soil just to give them about an inch above that soil line. Then once again, they're growing up a few more inches, add that potting soil until you have a gorgeous plant that is really beautiful on your patio or anywhere near your home. Another thing that you really need to remember to do, since they're not in the soil and getting kind of the care that a traditional garden would do, is to make sure you feed them. This liquid fertilizer is absolutely fabulous. You never have to worry about burning the plants, and it provides them all they need during the summer. If you have any questions, comment below, or if you need some in-person help, go to any of our North 40 Outfitters stores or visit us on north40.com, and of course, hit subscribe and tap that notification button.